Hello guys, this is Grizz's Maximus. In this video, I'll be talking about a game that I made. Nope, not Beartopia, but Tsundere Simulator. This game was made in 4 days for the GMC Jam number 37. This game jam is for Game Maker community. And so basically, you're only allowed to use Game Maker Studio or Game Maker Studio 2 to be making your games. This is a 4-day jam, which is actually the longest game jam that I have participated in. So I was thinking to myself, okay, let's try to strategize and try to see how we can structure our flow here. So after doing a couple of jams, I've decided this time, let's try to follow a structure. And the structure goes like this. So the first day will be the day where I'm going to be thinking about what kind of game we're going to be making based on the theme. And then after that, we start creating the assets for it, the sprites and everything. And then on the day two will be mostly on the programming side. We're going to be trying to make the minimum viable product, the MVP. Trying to make sure that we have a game that's up and running within the day. And then on the third day will be mostly on like the music, on the extra stuff, the extra components of the game, trying to make it more complete. And then we start polishing from there. And then on day 4 will be the complete polishing day. Try to make sure that there's no bugs, make sure everything's running fine, make sure that it's addicting, make sure that whatever was feeling a little bit off is fixed. All the controls, all the mechanics, all the, the balancing of the game, that's basically day number 4. And so, that sounded like a very solid plan. And I also told myself to make sure that the game lasts for about 5 minutes. So then, because I've noticed that in my previous game jams, I tried to make games that last a little bit longer than that. And what happened was that, I stretched the amount of stuff that I'm trying to do. So that's more than 5 minutes. It means there's a lot more content placed into it. And people got bored in the beginning. That was the problem. So people have very short attention span, especially when they're playing a game jam game. So expect that your games are not going to be finished. So the 5-minute time allotment that I told myself, you have to make sure that the game's playable within 5 minutes. And then people say, wow, they'll clap their hands, wow, this is a wonderful game. Because people, let's be honest, people who play your game jam games, most likely they don't really have the time. They're only playing your game so then they can just rate it, so then they can just, because they feel obligated to rate your game or something like that, or they want you to rate their game and something, so you want like some kind of exchange, but they're not really playing the game to have fun. If they do have fun, that's like a plus point, but usually these guys are just playing a game because you're part of the game jam entry. So that's why I've decided to make it a 5-minute type of game, and then I also decided, so then we don't spend too much time on the sprites and everything, I've decided to make sure that my sprites are like about 8x8 size, like the character will be an 8x8 sprite, and then the color scheme, the color palette will only be around 4 to 5 colors. Try to keep it simple, try to keep it neat. Yes, that was the intended plan. I completely threw out that plan in the trash can when I saw the theme. And the theme of the game jam was, it knows something you don't. And when I first thought of that theme, I had this crazy idea, let's make a visual novel. And that's what I did. Now the thing is about making a visual novel is that it requires, first of all, it requires good looking sprites. It requires good looking background. So it's a visual novel. Visual is in the title, meaning it's something that's very visual. You can't just skip away and make some ugly looking sprites whatsoever. You have to make it look beautiful. The next problem about the visual novel was that, well, visual novels don't really, it's very hard to follow the MVP rule, the minimum viable product, when you're trying to make a visual novel. The reason is because you want to make a story and you have to finish with that story. You cannot just like end halfway, If you end halfway, that's not going to work. So you have to make the whole story, and then you can consider the game finished. Yeah, basically the whole plan was just thrown out the window. The whole day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, that's not what happened. Let me tell you what happened. Day 1, I decided, hey, let's make a visual novel. And then I had this idea to make the visual novel look something like Ghost Trick So I really love Ghost Trick. Ghost Trick's my favorite visual novel game. I'm not so sure if people consider that a visual novel. To me, that's a visual novel game. But anyways, we're not talking about Ghost Trick. We're talking about Tsundere Simulator. And I'll explain to you why it's called TsundereSim in a moment, okay? I'll explain to you in a while. So, I've made this game that looks sort of like Ghost Trick, but a little bit more pixelated. And then the idea was, you know, controlling this girl. Now, this girl is this original character of mine called Cassie. You can call her Cassandra Midnight Blossom. That's her full name. It's a very weird name, but you know, I'm very creative. No, you're not. Anyways, this is the very first game that I've made that has nothing to do with bears, which is out of my comfort zone. This was very different from all the other games I've made because it was anime. It was basically anime art. I have never made a game that used anime art. That's another thing. So yeah, this game was really looking super different, and because I was going to unknown territory, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was basically just blazing through whatever this process is. Nothing that I was doing made sense. I just went through the moment and like, oh, does it look good? Does it not look good? If it looks good, keep it. If it doesn't look good, fix it. Yeah, that's basically what I tried to do in the game jam. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I've only created a story within the last day, within the last 24 hours. That was the only time that I had a clear story that this is going to be a Tsundere simulator. Because what happened was that originally, I wanted to make this mystery game, like Ghost Trick. I wanted to make a mystery game. But the thing is that within those 4 days, I just couldn't think of a mystery game. Now, I was thinking to myself, why am I still trying to make a visual novel if I don't even have a story? But the thing is, I was already programming a visual novel, and I told myself, you gotta stick to this idea. You cannot back down. You've already made a visual novel, you already started making it, you're already halfway through it, you have to make a visual novel. And so I said, okay, I'm going to make a visual novel, but what is the story? What's going on behind the story? And then I was like, I don't know. You think about it when you make the story, and like, holy, yeah, I didn't know what I was doing for like the past 3 days. I was really stumped. So basically, on the second and third day, a lot of my time was actually wasted trying to look at other visual novels just to get an idea of what kind of visual novel I'm supposed to be making. And sort of like get an inspiration and try to know like, okay, so dialogues go along somewhere like this. This is how you make an interesting dialogue and stuff like that. Yeah. I was basically blazing through this. I have zero experience trying to make this game jam. I don't know what I was trying to do. Usually when you're trying to make a game jam, my biggest suggestion is don't do what I just did. You do something that you are comfortable doing. You do something that you know what you're doing. You don't try to be ambitious. You don't try to do something that you haven't done before. And that's exactly what I did. I did something that I didn't know what I was doing. And because I was doing something I didn't know what I was doing, I ended up wasting a lot of time trying to come up with trial and error, trying to see which one works, which one doesn't work. And then I've wasted a lot of time trying to think of what to do rather than doing. And so the Tsundere simulator idea, the Tsundere idea came along when I just started to tell myself, you know what, let's just make a story. Let's just, put it in a school setting just like any normal dumb anime. It's in a school, it's in a high school, and then there's a teacher, and then the teacher, like, there's this boy sleeping in the middle of class, and then you're the girl, you try to wake him up, and I just tried to think of any stupid way of trying to wake him up, and then it started getting a little bit violent, and then I realized, wow, I just actually created a tsundere. And so that's where the idea came. It was within the last 24 hours when I thought to myself, oh, this girl is becoming a tsundere. And there's the yandere simulator. I'm pretty sure many of you guys know what yandere simulator is. Let's make a tsundere simulator. And it was... I actually like the idea of making a tsundere simulator. It was fun. That's the reason why there's such recurring anime characters they're usually tsunderes, because they're very interesting to see games. Anyways, Beartopia is available for free on itch.io. Tsundere Simulator is also available for free on itch.io. So please check out all my games. They're all for free. And like if you like this video, and please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. If you want to know more about Beartopia, please check out my other videos, and I'll be making more videos on Beartopia.
Hope to see you guys soon, and goodbye.